Hello, this is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. I am in my vehicle right next to the woods. I'm shooting a video in regards to my top 10 desired survival items. Now, the reason why I say desired survival items is because the truth and the reality of the survival situations is that we're not always going to get the exact items that we want in a genuine survival situation. Now, sure, not every single survival situation ends up where you're just simply got your backpack on your back, all your gear, lost in the woods. That's what a lot of people generally tend to think. But the reality is that, your boat could sink, your plane could crash, your car gets stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and, you might be in a position where you end up with one, two, three items, maybe none of them. Maybe you end up with a big pile of garbage, or maybe you end up like Tom Hanks in the Castaway movie where all you get is FedEx packages. But he may do. So these are why I say these are the desired items I wish to have with me in a genuine survival situation. So I'm going to take you through the items right now. And the reason why it is I'm doing this in my vehicle is because some of these items are a little bigger and bulkier, and I have no need to have them in the woods with me today. It's a waste of space in my backpack, and I don't want to take it out there, do the video, and then come back. So here's my top 10 items in no particular order. Let's get started off with my cooking pot. This is a zebra billy can or zebra billy pot, depending on how you want to call it. This is a capacity of 1.5 liters. Boil my drinking water in this. Do my cooking in this. There's a variety. You can collect things with this. There's a whole variety of things you can do with it. Definitely stainless steel. Definitely good to have. As you can see, it's obviously well used. And this is definitely one of my best cooking pots I've ever owned. I love this thing. So let's put that down there. Next item up. Well, it's obviously not this, so let's turn that around. This is my rain poncho tarp. In a previous video where I talk about my day camp, final day camp of the year, the poncho tarp that I have set up as my roof, that's what this is. So this is a poncho tarp, military camo design on it, and it's roughly about 5 feet by about 7 or 8 feet, so it's plenty of room for me to hide away underneath it, as well as to put maybe some gear in there. It's nice to have a roof over your head, just in general to have a poncho to keep the rain off of me and keep dry, as well as use it for a rain catch and other whole little variety of uses with that as well. Good to have. I love this thing. Had this for probably about 2-3 years now. Well, still going strong. Next up, first aid kit. Just in general, first aid kit, it's a good thing to have a first aid kit with you. Obviously you're going to get injured. You may start off being injured. Who knows? So it's good to have some first aid kit, even if it is just a basic kit. Band-aids in there. You got some polysporin in there. I got some Tylenol for the headaches, muscle and joint pain. Also got some heartburn because some of the foods that you might eat may cause a little bit of a stir in your stomach. Also got all your basic first aid, not just medications, but just in general, first aid, for burns, the injuries, polysporin, the whole 9 yards. Good to have. Next up is a basic fishing kit. This is a container that says UCO on it, but obviously it's not UCO in this. Inside of here is my fishing kit. And it's just a very basic kit. It looks like there's a whole lot in there, but there's not really a whole lot in there at all. I got 2 spools of fishing line in there, and I got them for a very high weight, so that way not only can you use them for fishing, but also be able to use them for other things, like trap making, for example, maybe even for the sake of doing a little bit of light shelter work, for example. I also got some bobbers. I got these little tin containers right in here that I can use that's inside of them is all my assortment of hooks, but in the event of I can actually also use the containers for other things as well. I can also make char cloth with it as well. Even this whole container I can make char cloth with, or I can gather some water, do other little things with it. But that's my fishing kit, and that's the next item that's on my list. Next up, my number 1 fire making tool, ferro rod. This is the 1/2 inch diameter by 6 inches long, and as you can see, it's my number 1 fire making tool because there's a leash on it. Clip it onto my belt, put this in my pocket. That way it's there, and it's on a leash, ain't going nowhere. I love this thing to death. I still use it strong. It's obviously used, but still using it. Still going to be my number one fire making tool. Next up, compass. Now, technically speaking, we're already hopelessly screwed in the survival situation, or you're already lost, you can't find your way out. But, you know, they always say, you know, you should always stay still, but technically speaking, the area where you're in the survival situation may not have water, it may not have food, it may not have shelter. You may have to move and go somewhere else. Other times you might have to do simple reconnaissance missions to go explore the area to see what your surroundings look like. Having a compass around is going to definitely help you navigate around a little bit, especially now with the winter. You know, it's snow, blizzards, white out. You can't see where you're going, you can't find your way back. Compass is going to help you out. Next item up, paracord. Paracord in general is the rope that I use. This is 550 paracord. This whole variety of uses. Shelter building, for example, is definitely right up there. Also, you can use it for trap making as well. You can use it for, you know, tying up things. You can also tie up some of your gear. If I don't have a backpack, I can make a Roycroft pack. Use the rope to make the Roycroft pack. Tie all my gear onto that, so that way I can go mobile. Whole long list of variety of uses for these. Next up is, of course, my number one survival tool, my knife. This is my Tops Bob knife. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this because I already have previous videos about it already. This is definitely my best knife I have right now. This is my survival knife because it does everything I want it to do. It's tough, it's durable, whole 9 yards. Check out. I also have a review video about this, and I'm also going to do a review video probably in the near future in regards to how it's been coming along. But obviously with the notches and stuff, I can do bow drill with this as well. And that's also with the ferro rod. You know, the ferro rod is, you know, makes sparks, but you know, just because the ferro rod is the number one tool doesn't mean it's the only way I know how to make fire. Of course, you can make fire so many different ways. I know how to make a bow drill, flint and steel. There's a long list of fire making tools and ways of doing it. You know, knowledge is everything. Next item up is my oh, there it is. I was looking at I got everything laid on the seat here. I'm like, why is there only one item? It's supposed to be two. So one slid away on me. Next up is my Silky Gomboy saw. I've had this saw for many years, been using it for a long time. This is the Silky Gomboy 240, with the 240 blade, I mean. And I've been using this for quite some time. I love this saw to death. I was deciding whether I was going to go with the saw or an axe. I decided this one was going to be the one because with my axe, despite how good my axe is, you know, it takes a lot more bodily force and, you know, a lot more energy in it to use it as opposed to a small little saw. But just in general, I feel like the risk factor for injuries is much higher with the axe than it is with the saw. So that's just my reasoning as to why I chose to go with my saw. But even if this were to break off, I found a how-to video recently on how to actually attach this to a stick and still continue to use it. So, jackpot for me. And lastly is an item that's definitely been rising up in the ranks as of lately, and that is my multi-tool. For those of you who watch the TV show Survivor Man with Les Stroud, you know, you'll know that the multi-tool is definitely one of his number one tools out there. It's a very valuable to have. You know, I'm going to do a review video about this in the future, but, you know, I got a knife on here. We got a little saw, you know, a knife with a serrated edge. Got another one here, a file. Then you got your pliers, you know. If you're in a survival situation where there's a potential for debris, like a plane crash or your boat sinks or something like that, and some debris washes up on shore, you can use the multi-tool to handle with that and use it to your advantage. Same goes with other items and garbage and whatnot. So check out some of his videos in Survivor Man. You'll see what I'm talking about. So those are my top 10 desired items. This is Greenhat-Redbeard Adventures. Stay safe, have fun. Happy New Year.